1340 96.5 KVGC. Welcome back to another Saturday Talk with Douglas Viviani. Tonight, Douglas and David Cohen host the show called Everything Old is New Again, a show that each week examines our pop culture, where it came from, why it's still popular, and here are two guys that have definitely put fun back in radio. Douglas, good morning.
Thank you. Nicely said. I appreciate that. I'm going to have to put that on my website. Long story short, I'm always looking for new shows. The seasons? There's no longer the season in television like it starts in September and ends in June. You ever see that?
Yeah, I know.
So it's hard to figure out what's new, when is it on, and so forth. So I'm looking around. There's a lot of repeats now, and I found a show. It's only 4 episodes. It's 2 hours each, but I think it's pretty cool. It's on History Channel. It's called The Men Who Built America, Frontiersmen. Have you heard of this?
Yes, I started watching one episode, and I just got pulled away from it. But doesn't Leonardo DiCaprio? Isn't he part of it, a star in it, or
he's actually the executive producer?
There
so he's not doesn't appear.
Okay.
But he did put this together. They did another one of these back in a couple of years back on History. Not related to the frontier, not related to DiCaprio, but it was Men Who Built America in the early 1900s.
I saw that one. That was about Carnegie and about all the guys that made the steel and everything.
Yeah, and J.P. Morgan.
J.P. Morgan.
Yep.
I watched one the other day about cars, and it was about I think it was about a 4-part series too, and it was recently done in the same style of this. And it talked about, it went all the way up to Edsel Ford taking over the Ford Motor Company, hiring Lee Iacocca leaving, going to work for Chrysler saving, Lee Iacocca saving Chrysler. It was really interesting. It started way back from the very start, too. And it was, I like that. I wonder with these shows, and I know you probably do too, how much of it is really accurate. Aren't you somewhat jaded nowadays when you see an historical piece like this? Do you go, is this what it really was like? Or, was this...
Sir, I definitely do. And if you go online and you take a look at some people that comment about this show, they love it, but then they say, oh, they've left things out and so forth. Well, it's only a 2-hour episode each week. Yeah. It's got narrations. It's not, and then they do sort of reenact it as well. And, for the purpose of telling a story, you can't include every single fact all the time. My issue is not always the omission of facts, which can be in the law seen to be a lie, but I don't see that in entertainment. They're just trying to entertain in some ways and do the best they can to tell the story in the time they have. But if they misrepresent, if they slant, if they say the wrong thing, don't research it properly, whatever, that's what drives me crazy. But with History Channel, and nothing's perfect, but with this particular series and with History Channel that I've seen, at least with the Hunting Hitler and some other shows, they're trying to at least put the finger on some of these stories and get us down deep into the beyond what you read in the textbook, if that makes sense.
Any other shows? Did you watch it?
That, believe it or not, that turned me on because you see and hear through that show it's going to be Daniel Boone, Andrew Jackson, Davy Crockett, Lewis and Clark, Kit Carson, who helped with the development of California, right? So all of a sudden I started looking around, and I remember back in the day hearing interviews about Star Trek and how the creator of Star Trek, Gene Roddenberry, created his show and promoted it, and I should say pitched it, if you will, to the powers that be to get it on the air as a wagon train to the stars. You ever hear that quote?
Oh yeah, wasn't he a writer, or didn't he submit scripts to Wagon Train?
He did. He also wrote for a series called The Lieutenant, and he was just bumming around, if you will, and selling scripts where he can. He wasn't like the writer of any of these shows, but he wrote particular episodes. And this Wagon Train, I don't know if you guys get MeTV? I think you probably do.
Yes. I don't get it because I have a satellite provider. My satellite provider doesn't have it, but everybody who's on an antenna gets it and talks about all the shows. if I had MeTV, Douglas, I'd probably never watch anything else except for MeTV and then DVR some shows like, Gotham or Hoax Island or shows like that, and then watch them. I would watch MeTV all the time. I love those old shows.
It really is a great station. All the old shows, basically from the 60s and 70s, Mannix and Gunsmoke and everything, And again, they're brand new. If you have never seen these shows, a lot of them hold up. At Westerns, we've done a couple of shows on that, and sometimes they hold up, sometimes they don't. But this Wagon Train, which I never saw before, was on for 7 years, in 1957 and 65, and it was a different take, especially for the day. It wasn't like every week it's the same people. Every week it's different people with a couple. The Wagon Train Master and the Scout are the same for a lot of the time, and then they change characters too down the line. But it's a lot of different guest stars, Ernest Borgnine, and all kinds of guest stars, different characters that are on this train, so to speak, this wagon train on the way out to the west, and the different things that happen. And so it's like, I don't know if you call it an anthology, but it's different take on these stories every single week. It's not formulaic. It's very ahead of its time, I would say, because we see that now where people die off in a series and you didn't expect it, and you have guest stars of people that you don't know if they're on the show for a lot of time or not. I mean, it's just it's a good peek into the past of watching these shows, and if you're into westerns, it is a new take on the western.
Wasn't Ward Bond? Wasn't he the wagon master?
You. How about that?
Yeah, that he's like the only one that I know, and because I don't. Who else? Who else was in it? Was anybody else famous? Was what's his name? The
fellow.
Make My Day. Can't even.
Clint Eastwood. No, he was in a different one. I forget the name of that one. It was Robert Fuller is in it.
Okay.
He just passed away at 91, actually.
Yeah.
And I forget the other gentleman from later on. If you ever remember this show, going back here, the show was it Emergency. The fellow that was the doctor in the hospital that they always called into, he later on came on that show as well. And I know that because they've approached us to be on the show, and I'm sort of
really?
like, I don't know. What? I don't mean to be cool, but if I can't even come up with a name, then it's trouble there.
Let me just flash forward here. Let me flash forward to modern day. Gotham has got my attention again. I was starting to fall asleep in the first half of the season, but now the second half,
Ivy and the Riddler are on the rise, huh?
Yeah, and Batman is starting to make his appearance.
Yeah, he fired. He's not too much of a spoiler. It's been around. He fired Alfred, and as the butler, and that's kind of in a little bit of limbo there. What they're going to do, and
so you didn't see the last.
I did, but I don't want to get that close.
Oh, okay. Okay.
This week's episode's too much of a spoiler.
I didn't ruin it, did I? Okay. Yeah, he fired Alfred. Well, have you seen the news?
Well, let's put it this way. No. Yeah, he's coming back.
Guess what? Marty and his brother still haven't found the treasure. Oh, okay. Great.
Right.
Hey, I see you comment all the time on our Facebook Live stuff that we've been doing. You've been following us down at the National.
I do. I like the idea that every day for me at 3:00 and for you at 12, I'm having lunch with the fellas at the National. And so I get some ideas as to what to cook once in a while, and I see I think the gentleman that owns the National is on it so often.
Stan.
And I haven't heard the Grocery Outlet Bargain Market people lately.
Yeah, they've been on. They've been. Our friend Frankie she was ill. She had a little bronchitis, pneumonia, and so she's been kind of hit and miss. But
okay. I'm wondering what they're doing, if they're going to be doing any corned beef specials. But anyway,
yeah. Well, this week
I love it. And then I noticed recently you're really down to the school board. You were at the town meetings, town board, and in fact you were on air and you were not wearing shorts, and there was a comment about that. I mean, does everybody know you wear shorts? Is that well known in Jackson?
That is like that. Oh yeah. If I go somewhere and wear pants, it's a big joke. Yeah, no, I mean, more people think it's a joke if I wear pants than if I don't wear pants.
But I don't know, is there a stenographer? I mean, it was on the record where they were commenting on your clothes.
Yeah.
It's okay. Only in California, I love it.
It's the way it goes. So anyway, that's something we're gonna be doing more and more of that. It's fun. It's It's easy. My son likes doing it, and just kind of
And
another.
I think it looks like you have 2 cameras, and you're going back and forth.
Oh, we
with this
have
graphics too.
4 and 5 cameras. Yeah.
Wow.
And we just bought in fact, I'm sitting here looking at it in the studio because I'm trying to figure out how to use it. One of these, I don't know. I call them motorized gimbal cameras. They're the ones that automatically stabilize, so you can carry them around or move them around, and they stay. And that'll be in use pretty soon.
They won't shake, in other words.
Right. But I was going to get at is we've got a big Dandelion Days coming up this weekend here in Jackson. That's a big 300 booths will be set up right outside the studio here, and we'll have our street cam on. People will be able to watch that throughout the weekend. If you go to our website and go to our video cam, the Main Street cam will be set up, and you can watch that. But unfortunately, it's probably going to rain. I mean, it's been pouring here, and today's weather. But tomorrow, Sunday, looks like it'll be a lot better. But anyway,
now, with all of that, that's all simulcast on the radio itself, correct?
Yes.
No?
Yeah. Well, the cameras run 24. Like, if you're watching right now, you'll see me in the studio here talking to you.
But when you go to these different events, is it simulcast on doing a show or no?
For the national, yes.
Right.
For the school board and the board of supervisors, no. That's just live on Facebook. But we do have the capability to, like, we're going to be doing a candidates forum with a couple of candidates running for supervisor, a couple are running for judge, and so forth. And with that will be run both live video and live on the air, so we can do both that. So
now, not to take credit, I'd say this tongue-in-cheek, but we did, back in the day, David and I talk about the old golden age of radio and what radio could do now these days. I know you're more experienced than we are, but we did make comments and said that really radio should be, I don't know if it's local or not, you could call it that, but the point is wherever you are, the radio station could send people out to different locations, different events, different things, like they did with the Hindenburg, as an example. Yeah. And that's really, to me, what makes radio fun, too, especially on the local side, when your radio station is there at the local car dealer and doing a show there, or whatever event is even happening. It's even better, the circus comes to town or whatever, and like I say, over at the National, that really makes it come alive, and it's fun to me.
And that, my friend, is why Cumulus, iHeart, all these big-time corporations are billions of dollars in debt and are filing for Chapter 11 because they haven't got into it.
Down, right?
Yeah, they haven't got, they got away from, and we've had this talk before on the air, they got away from what radio is, and it became about investment bankers and how much can we leverage, how much can we make, how much.
And the same 10 shows.
Yes,
they might be great shows, but everywhere you go, it's the same 10 shows.
And it's the same music being played everywhere. And, I mean, I don't want to get off on a tangent here because we're running out of time, but, I mean, that's what gave the rise to the internet music streaming, is that commercial radio would not play the news, okay? Would not play your band.
Well, think about this.
But I can go to the internet and I can put my whole album on. You know what I'm saying?
They're ignoring the whole market. Here's the thing: we, of course, are trying to grow and get affiliates and so forth, just to get people to listen to the show and have some fun with this. And to break through, if you call an iHeart radio station, and by the way, there's about there's 500 or something like that. Try to break through and talk to iHeart? No, if you're not within their corporate structure, you're out. So they're turning down us and every other show except for the nationally known shows. So it's like television in a way. You're watching, but there's no local touch or there's no individual touch, and there's very little variety.
Nobody wants to make radio fun again except you, me, and David.
There we go.
Hey, what's up with this week's show? You got 1 minute.
This week we are actually going to take a look again at the family
50 seconds.
And how it's presented through television.
I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
and with Michelle Cohen, David Cohen's wife, will be with us again. We're going to look through the TV commercial. We're also going to look at how about lessons. What lessons can we learn from TV? Should we be learning lessons like with the Goldberg and so forth? And we'll have a woman's perspective on all of that.
Is she as good looking as her voice sounds?
She sure is.
Yeah, she has a good voice.
Yeah, she may be replacing David every so often. How about that?
That's a good one. Is she any good at trivia?
Radio wouldn't be fun then anymore. It would be stormy.
All right. Douglas Viviani and David Cohen tonight at 6 o'clock. Again, tomorrow night at 6. The show is called Everything Old is New Again. If you have not listened, please, I urge you to listen tonight at 6 o'clock. If you can't make it tonight, if you've got some St. Patrick's Day events going on, listen tomorrow night at 6 o'clock. Everything Old is New Again with Douglas Viviani and David Cohen. Douglas, have a happy St. Patrick's Day.
Lucky the Irish to you.
There you go.